So at this point, we're going to keep this very loose, very free-flowing. If anybody would like to come up and ask any questions of the panel that we have up here, you're more than welcome to approach me. I'll hand you the mic. Just kind of stay away from this speaker. Keep the distance that I'm kind of keeping. But I think we'll kind of kick this thing off, guys, with a very basic but kind of deep as you want to take it question. You know, here we are in 2015, and you guys have all impacted the local Kansas City beer scene in one way or another. Did you see this happening versus where it was 3 years ago? And whoever wants to take it, you're more than welcome to.
Well, you know, I mean, I think that KC was really catching up. You know, you saw the craft beer explosion in so many ways over the last 5 years plus. You know, which Boulevard had so much to do with in terms of making people aware of better beer around KC and having craft beer in restaurants and beer bars and bottle shops and knowing about, you know, proper glassware and things like that. And the brewery side was kind of a little bit dragged behind a little bit, you know. So in a lot of ways it made sense and kind of was something that you might have expected to be coming because, you know, you saw that this interest, this kind of a devotion about craft beer on the bar, restaurant, bottle shop side. The brewery side was really kind of just getting where we are right now, which is fantastic. I think, you know, 2014, 2015 were big years for craft beer in KC, but I think 2016 is going to be even bigger. It's going to keep on going.
Yeah, that's a good point. As far as like on the brewery side, you know, we start all of this stuff years before a lot of people see it. So we just kind of hope that it's going to do well, and we make things that we like, and then hopefully people dig it and keep asking for it. And the cool thing is that people are coming to festivals like this, trying beers on their own accord, driving down to breweries, you know, traveling, going out of their way to try beers, liking them, and then asking us to make more. So I don't know. I guess we kind of expected it because the rest of the world is kind of getting in on it. So it all goes back to the people just coming up and saying, "We like your beer. It's tasty. Can we have some more of it, please?" right away. So thank you, guys.
Okay, excellent. You guys, I mean, you seem really scrunched on this stage. There's space to the left and right.
I didn't set the chairs up.
I know you.
I think we're afraid to move in these chairs.
You like each other?
They lean back a little.
I got you. So okay, and now speaking more to the tones of like beer styles and the popularity that's come from it, do you feel a need to actually have to constantly innovate what you're doing, from barrel aging things to finding new ways to just throw whatever into a beer and release it, or is it just more of just whatever you want to do?
I think we're at a weird point where beer has gone incredibly mainstream, and you know, people that are new to beer are trying pale ales and pilsners and what I call normal beer. But there's also this pressure for the people at the other side of it to make crazy, ridiculous beer. You know, and sometimes that's good, but I feel like in order to do that, you have to be really nimble and able to change pretty quickly. I think we're making 14 new beers this year, so yeah, it's super important to us. But it's also we don't want to get bored. You know, if we wanted to be bored, we could work in regular factories, and we happen to work in a beer factory, so part of it is a lot of play as well as kind of the technical, scientific side of it. But that was close, right?
I loved it. I really did. Would anybody else like to chime in on that?
So at the Kansas City Bier Company, we are focused on making traditional German-style beers. And what the great thing about craft beer is variety. And I think that's how the craft beer movement got started. People wanted to drink a wider variety of beers than just a pale North American lager. So what my passion is, and what our brewery tries to do is replicate authentic German-style beers, which I think it's not a lot of craft brewers really focus on that. So I think we're bringing some diversity to the Kansas City beer market just by focusing on making traditional German-style beers, especially lagers, which you don't see a lot of craft lagers. But that's what I like to drink. It's my passion. I love all beer, but those are the beers that I have passion for, and I think that's what makes a craft brewery.
Yeah, I think kind of what Jeremy was saying, the marketplace sort of bears that when you have a lot of breweries doing a sort of two-tiered approach where you have a sort of more approachable year-round beer that people just who aren't used to drinking whales of beers all the time. And that's awesome. You have a level that you can satisfy on that. And then you have your sort of eccentric label where you can just make the fun stuff that you have in your head that you don't think anybody's going to buy, but you think tastes good. And we've all talked about it, everybody knows about it. Like, brewers love all beers. We love Pilsners, we love crazy Imperial Stouts. Most of the time we just want a good drinking beer, but sometimes for a celebration we want a crazy beer. So we make both of those, and that's really about it.
And what I love about KC in general is that it's kind of a melting pot of styles and influences. You know, you have the West Coast and Pacific Northwest, which are kind of much more free-form, experimental, and kind of less tied to styles. And you have the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic, which has more of a tie to traditional German, Czech, English styles. And then KC has room for kind of everything. You have places that are more traditional, a bit more traditional about it, like City Bier Company and McCoy's, and others that are kind of less kind of influenced by style guidelines. And I love that there is that kind of spectrum of interest of beers and styles and approaches around KC.
You know, once again, I would like to remind everybody that questions can come from literally anyone. Yes, come on up. I was actually going to ask that too. The question is, what are each of you drinking right now? Let's start with Steve and move on down.
Munich style Dunkel.
I have a raspberry smoothie. No, it's Love Child number 5.
Awesome.
Mother's Milk.
Sam Adams, Cosmic Motherfunker.
I'm drinking Omega Saison, our new collaboration with Moore Brewing Company.
I have a ginger shandy from McCoy's.
Let's kind of talk about the McCoys and the brew pub side here for a second, because you know that's kind of a growing market, and you see a lot more of these brew pubs popping up. How is it that you can find a sort of balance between supplying different beers from different breweries that people are going to come in for, versus what it is that you're actually personally brewing and preparing for everyone else as well?
It's pretty much the same. I feel like my desire to brew a style of beer fits with the season, which is sort of the same as like the general public. So you're not going to brew a hef in the winter, you're going to brew a hef in the summer. So I feel like my beer taste is the same as anyone else's. It fits with the season, but I still drink stouts year round.
Cheers to the stouts. All right, so now a question for everybody again, the whole panel, talking about Beer Fest and the need to come up with these new, innovative, rare tapping kegs for each of these. Do you guys find it kind of pressing or any type of stress to get something ready for every single individual festival, or is this more of a fun thing for you?
I think it's fun. I don't know about anybody else, but personally, there are beers that you don't get to brew year round, so when you do get to brew them, they're exciting, and you get to use grain that you don't use year round, hops that you don't get to use year round, so it's fun to get that well-rounded experience. I like it. I don't know, I feel like in the summer we use different yeast strains too, and I like it.
Yeah, we love to bring something new. It's an awesome opportunity to debut a beer like we're doing today with Omega Saison. It's a tiny little brewery. It's hard to get something new to every festival. There's so many, but we do our best because I think this is such an awesome venue to bring the beer that people really want to experience and have them have the opportunity to try it for the first time.
As a longtime Beer Fest goer, I always wanted to have something special when I paid a lot of money to come and try a bunch of different beers. And most of the time I'd tried everything regular, so yeah, having something special was badass. But for us on the production side, we get to sort of use you guys as guinea pigs, which is always fun. Something we've sort of had in our backyard for a long time. And so it begins. Hold on to your glasses, folks, unless you get jeered at by a bunch of angry people. It's always nice to just sort of bring something that you're proud of and bring it to a bunch of people who are unsuspecting and just push it on them and see how it goes. And hopefully you guys are excited to drink that stuff as well.
Can I answer too? Of course. I think the challenge of the Beer Fest is you want to bring really cool, fancy beers that you're really excited about, But I think all of us that are so like deep into craft beer where we don't really have a perspective of how incredibly dorky we are, like we're 11% of the total beer volume, and some of the people that are near me are like in that 1% of like don't bring up beer around this guy. You just don't want to talk to him about beer. So it's important to bring beer that people can get that day when they head home. You know, I think the weirdest thing is to get somebody really excited about a beer and say, hey, where can I get this? And they're like, oh yeah, we made it like 4 years ago and never again. So I think it makes sense to bring what I hesitate to call regular beer, but what is, you know, beer you're going to drink every day. Like I love Love Child number 5, and I could drink it every day because I have so many bottles of it. But I want to drink pale ale, man. I want regular beer, you know. I do have a whole lot of it though, like, a whole lot.
Party at Danner's house, after party.
I know where the
No, it's Yeager at my mom's house.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that.
He makes lagers. He doesn't bring anything. No, I had my birthday party at KCBC, and people at Boulevard were mad at me.
I feel, Steve, you kind of got a retort now.
Yeah, and I want to point out that Duvel put a big billboard right above our brewery, so yeah. Okay. So, yeah, part of the challenge about making a lot of different beer styles is the state of Missouri and getting label approval for all the beers that you want to brew. And you have to send in a sample, so it's kind of hard just to make a one-off beer sometimes, but yeah. It's always nice to explore new styles, try something new, and we're always trying to do that. But yeah, I wish the regulatory issues weren't so binding to sort of prevent us from really exploring a lot of beer styles.
Yeah, it's a super wonky thing, but it's really typical with Missouri right now because you want to bring new stuff, but Missouri is still backed up on approval right now that you're talking 2 or 3 months for a new beer. So, I'm going to write your state senator.
Now, are there any questions from the crowd? Anybody at all? You got one?
We have to have some kind of question, right? Really? Everybody's just in the tent by accident.
So this question's for Jeremy. We mentioned Duvel. Now that we're a year plus into the acquisition by Duvel of Boulevard, how has that affected your job on a day-to-day basis, if at all?
It's terrible, man. No, it sounds like BS, but there's really no effect on my day-to-day. We're kind of lucky that we have another level of influence, another level of experience with the guys from Belgium, but really my day-to-day it's exactly the same. My checks say Duvel now, but they still cash. It's not funny money.
Are they written in the Belgian currency?
I don't even know it's a euro, dude.
Oh, euro, that's right. Yeah, euro.
How close-minded are you?
My bad, I'm sorry.
Hey,
Take me with you.
the first step to being a smart ass is being smart.
Now, speaking of a smartass, and Danner, you can back me up here. I know that on your program there was supposed to be 6 people on the panel, but you can count technically 6. Emily was added kind of last minute, but Rob Odell was supposed to show up.
Where is he?
From Boulevard, and he's not here. So, is there an explanation, Danner?
He's a vegan.
It's because I'm a girl.
I feel that the replacement was better, actually, now that we think about it. So, if there are no more questions, I'll kind of wrap it up with one final one. And Steve, I'll start with you and we can work your way down. If your beer or your brewery or your product in general were an Avenger, which one would it be?
What the hell's an Avenger?
I have one.
Perfect, let's start down here.
And this is sort of really nerdy, but it would be Spider-Man in the late Civil War with the Tony Stark suit on.
Oh,
That's
foreshadowing going on here. All right.
Not an Avenger, but I think we'd be Aquaman because we're just that lame.
I haven't seen the Adventures yet. I'm not allowed outside the brewery very often. If the does the Avengers have like a mom that sort of like was really burnt out in the 70s, but
I think that's the
found a new age like lifestyle and sort of changed her perspective on shit? Like that's not what our beer would be. So I was totally unprepared for a pop culture question. I'm sorry.
Does Nick Fury count?
Yes, yeah. No, actually, I thought you were going to say that.
That or the whichever one Scarlett Johansson is. No, because she's well read.
Touche.
I can't hear you. Say whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm not very up to date on pop culture either, but Jeremy just Googled who the Avengers were. So I'd have to say Thor. Keep with the Germanic roots.
Solid. A big round of applause for our speaker panel, please. And if you got them, raise them. Give a toast to these guys. They make local beer the way it is, and it's because of them that it is the way it is. All right, we got more special tappings coming up. Guys, please enjoy HopFest 2015.